One Piece has one of the best power systems in all of anime. Like, it's not even a joke. Now, usually in my videos, I try to state facts or the most objective opinion I can, but nah. I've just never made a video about my simple opinions, and that's what we're here for. So the power system in One Piece is based on both devil fruits and haki, for the most part. Since the fruits came first, I'll start with those. For the former half of One Piece, the series mainly relied on what I like to call a loose power system. This is seen in shows like Chainsaw Man, where everything is based off of devils, but besides that, everyone has a different power. Some other examples would include My Hero, AOT, Rurouni Kenshin, etc. Now, devil fruits do have some things in common, like taking the L to water, but besides that, pretty much every fruit user has a different power. The guy who can turn into and control fire is not going to be the same as the guy who can control lightning. In fact, I'd argue that if devil fruits were just the Zoan class, then they would still be just as expansive. Oda can take a creature that is alive, extinct, or fictional to give someone a power from. And the paramecia category is just as big, if not limitless. Oda can give a character super strength, speed, intelligence, or anything you can think of really, and he could just say that they ate a paramecia. And then you also take into account an individual's personal fighting style, like how Mr. One uses his fruit to act as a swordsman. After that, we can talk about awakenings, which make the power more complex, special paramecia, and fruits that don't even make any sense. The sky is the limit with the devil fruit system. Even so, not every character in the pre-time skip relied on a fruit. Some characters are adept swordsmen, others can just light their body on fire because they're like that, and even Usopp uses various gadgets and gizmos that he finds throughout his journey. Combined with techniques like the Rokushiki and Fishman Karate, all of these abilities create a nice and cohesive system while also allowing for new and unique fighting styles. However, there was a bit of a loophole with devil fruits. Users of Logia fruits were impossible to damage without Sea Stone due to their intangibility, and since Sea Stone is rare, Oda had to come up with a new power that can overcome anything that came before. This is where Haki comes in. Haki is what I like to call a strict power system. Think of Naruto, where everything relies on chakra and everyone has different levels of it. Other examples of strict power systems would be Ki, Reiatsu, or Spirit Energy. Haki is very simple. There are 3 types of it and everyone uses them in the same way. For instance, Luffy and Katakuri use observation haki in the exact same way. They both use armament to boost their attacks, and Conqueror's is even simpler. The matchup is nowhere near as complex as Enel traveling through conductors with his lightning powers, while Luffy can inflate his limbs because they're rubber. Haki is still being expanded upon with advanced applications, but even so, some people don't like how simple it is. Now I, having started reading One Piece during the raid, have a bias for Haki. I think it's pretty cool and it was introduced at the right time. But even so, I can see how, in a vacuum, Haki is very boring. It is very basic, every character uses it in the same way, and there really is no variety. However, in tandem with all of the other powers I mentioned, Haki works amazingly. It balances devil fruits while also giving characters with no fruit a chance to be OP. And in vice versa, Gear 4th is the best representation of how Haki and devil fruits can be used perfectly together. Now, Oda did make it to where Haki transcends everything, and it's basically the end-all be-all at this point. However, we still have characters in the series who barely use it and just rely on their devil fruits or other powers. So in summary, Haki, devil fruits, and all the other miscellaneous powers of One Piece work in perfect harmony to create the best and most diverse power system I've ever seen in shonen. But that's just my take on it, so you can go ahead and put your opinions in the comments below. I'll see y'all next week. Bye!